Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of a little show I like to call Sip Tea Talk Shit. Every single week, I'm going to be releasing episodes, some with guests, some without. We're going to be having some chats, play some games, and just have a wee bit of fun, really. For today's show, it is just me, myself, and I, unfortunately. But I'm going to use today as like a kind of get to know me, get to know what I'm about, what I'm like, so that you guys know if you want to actually watch me in the end or not. So I've got my little question time cards here. I've asked some followers, some of my friends, just to send me different questions. Some of them are nice, some of them are a bit, I'm unsure about them, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, right, I'm going to start. I'm going to give them a shuffle so that I don't know what's coming up. Right, so number one. Funniest guest experience at work. Right, to put this into context, I work in hospitality and I have done for about 5 years now. And I've done some stupid shit, I'm not going to lie, but it's more just without thinking. But I wouldn't even call this a funny experience because I know exactly what I'm going to say. This was mortifying. But it was basically, I'd worked at Nando's for not even that long. I want to say like 6 months or something. Just turned 18. And I was rough as fuck because I decided I was going out the night before clubbing with all my new friends. Went into work rough as fuck. And this family came in. It was like granny, granda, and then a child. And I went over to the table, and in Nando's, we used to give out crayons and bits of paper. Nobody does that anymore because they're skint. And I went over to the table, and I was like that to the wee girl. I was like, oh, here's some paper and some crayons so that you can draw while you wait for your food. And the granny turned around and she went like that. She doesn't need them. She's blind. And I was like, oh, all right. And I was like, so do you want me to take them away? And she was like, no, it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. And I walked by later on and the wee granny and the granda were like colouring in. And she was just sat there and I felt heart sorry for her, by the way, because I was like, it's not even embarrassing for me. It's just a shame for her because she can't even see what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to move on though because I feel like I'm blabbing. Right, next one. Do I miss childhood? Oh. Right, do you know what? Yes and no. It's like I miss childhood for the aspect of like when I grew up without a phone, without iPads. The most I watched was like Tracy Beaker at 8 a.m. on CBBC or Wizards of Waverly Place after, like during my dinner after school. We didn't have Facebook, I didn't have TikTok, things like that. So we would actually go out and play with our pals. Like we would play Chappie, what else? Kirby, loved Kirby. I was some boy at Kirby, by the way. But not even just that, like growing up, we had a caravan and it was unreal. Like we just used to make up all our own games. We would go every single holiday, every single weekend, like, and just enjoy ourselves. Nowadays, I feel like nobody does that. Everyone's childhood is kind of just been taken over by social media, by TikTok, and I'm not like slandering any of that at all. Like that's just the kind of generation that we're in at the minute, and fair dues, like that's absolutely fine. But I don't think it's a generation that I would have liked to grow up in. I'm kind of used to it now, but I feel like I wouldn't have liked to grow up in it. I'm glad that it kind of came around while I was getting a wee bit older, because childhood definitely wouldn't have been the same. But for the reasons of like it was just so carefree and you didn't really care about anything. There was no standards about what you had to look like and what you had to act like and stuff like that. That's one reason why I do miss childhood. I feel like there's too much stigma these days around you need to do this and it's embarrassing if you do that and you need to look a certain way, and I'm just not about that. But childhood is something I would definitely go back to, as long as it was childhood when I was actually a child, not like I wake up one day and I'm a child again but I'm stuck in fucking TikTok era. I'm not about that. Right, next one. I feel like I'm actually firing through these, but oh my gosh. Right, I know exactly who sent this one in, right? Worst gaff story. So my gran and that are going to be watching this, and I don't think they actually know the full story about what happened this night. But basically, I moved out when I was 19 with one of my friends, and we decided to get our own flat. Worst fucking decision I've ever made in my life, by the way. I cannot stress enough, do not live with your friends, don't move in with your friends. Like, if you want to do that, then you're setting yourself up for fucking failure, by the way, because it ain't going to work out. It's torture. But one night, like, my friend left. I don't know where she was going, actually, but I decided I was going to have a big, massive party. We lived on the third floor. So the third floor up, our neighbours already hated us because we were kind of known as, like, the party flat. But this night, everyone was, like, extra drunk. There was people showing up that I didn't even know. I didn't even invite. There was people there that other people there didn't even know. It was as if, like, the door was just laying open. Folk were just coming in and out as they pleased. And I had a dog, bless her. She wasn't even one at this point, was she? No, she'd just turned one. And she loves attention. See, if she's not getting attention, she will do something to get your attention. So we were all sitting in the living room just having a good time, and she was crying. No one was petting her. So she just decided she was going to do a big shit in the living room. And I was drunk. I didn't know how to clean it up because I was like, I'm so embarrassed. Wrapped it in not even toilet roll, kitchen roll, put it down the toilet and flushed it, and then went to my bed. Literally, not even that long after, about 10, 15 minutes later, my pal came in and he was like, your neighbours are at the door, you've flooded their gaff. And I was like, what do you mean? The toilet I'd flushed it and it hadn't flushed. The toilet started overflowing. It went down the back of the bath. There was a crack behind the bath. So it went down to the flat below. It went down to the flat below that, totally flooded them. Like, I went into the bathroom and obviously all my friends had tried to clean it up. There was towels down, there was jumpers down. My pal Dean had laid a loaf of bread on the floor to try and soak up all the water that was coming out. Pure panic, like, it was horrible. And then 5 police officers showed up, and the landlord, literally 5:30 in the morning, was like, that, yeah, get out. So we had to pack our stuff and leave, like, ASAP. People still talk about that to this day. Like, every year on that day, I'll get a message from someone being like, haha, remember about the shite gaff? And I'm like, aye, no bother. But that is probably my worst gaff story. I feel like I've not actually got that many bad ones. Usually I'm too drunk to remember, but hey ho. Anyway, weirdest guilty pleasure. Do you know what my guilty pleasure is actually? The Glee soundtrack. I feel like so many people will relate to this. I listen to the Glee cast soundtrack in the car religiously. I will blast it. I'll blast it with the windows down. I could care less. I'm living life, enjoying myself, and I will, like, imagine that it's actually me singing those songs, which is actually kind of sad, but I enjoy it. You know, if you don't listen to the Glee cast, listen to the Glee cast. Trust me, you'll fucking love it. Most embarrassing memory. I don't think I've got any embarrassing memories. No, I definitely do. Most embarrassing memory. I might come back to that one. Might give myself time. Oh my God. No, right. I'll come back to that one because I don't know if I want to share this on air with the world. This has went deep, by the way. So this one says, how do I cope with my mental health? I don't, to put it quite frank like that. I absolutely don't. I wait until I stress myself out and then I have a breakdown and then I'm off work for 2 weeks. That's exactly what I'm in right now. I've been off work for the past 2 weeks because I stressed myself to fuck. But the thing is, right, see, when you work in hospitality, I feel like they expect you to just be available 24/7. They expect you just to be like, I'm going to give you this shift and you can't do anything about it. I understand that's what jobs are about. But if I put in a request because I want to go out and then they're like, but it's a request, like, you might not get it. What do you mean I might not get it? Like, my life doesn't revolve around what you decide to tell me to do. My life revolves around what I decide to do. And I feel genuinely like one of the biggest stressors in my mental health is work. And it's not about the people. I love the people to bits. Like, the industry's fine if you're, part-time work in uni, because I'm in uni, like, waiting to do what you want to do. But honestly, props to the people who stay in not TGIs, I just exposed where I work, who stay in hospitality for their whole lives, because it couldn't be me. I've went off on a tangent though, but yeah, coping with my mental health, it's a struggle. It is a struggle. I've dealt with it for years now. But I feel like that's a conversation with another day. The best thing I can say about coping with mental health is just take a step back and have a breather. Like, you don't always need to have people involved. You don't always need to have people by your side. Like, sometimes being yourself might not help other people, but it definitely helps me. Like, sometimes I'd rather just sit by myself for a few days, not have to talk to anyone, not have to see anybody, and kind of just sort my own shit out. Because at the end of the day, like, it's my shit to deal with. It's nobody else's. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's how I deal with my mental health. I don't. Next is stupidest thing I have ever done. Stupidest thing. There was one time, actually, I remember that me and my friend, this was the exact same friend I had a flat with, she was speaking to a guy who worked on it wasn't like an army base, an RAF base. I don't know if that's army or like, I don't know. But it was like up north of Scotland, like Elgin way, and we decided one night, they were like, oh, we're having a night out, come up and join us. So we decided, fuck it, we're going to drive up. This was at 7 p.m. We got there at about midnight and the boys had been chucked out the club. And they were like, oh, it's fine, like we'll have a gaff, we'll have a party. See, at this point, we didn't know that they worked and lived on like an RAF base. I just thought, this is a boy called Harry that my pal knows, lives in Elgin, I'm going up for a party. That is what I was aware of. So we were driving, the next minute we got to these big barriers and these big gates and barbed wire fences and shit like that, and I was like, oh, where am I? Like, it was horrible. We had to get out the car, we had to get our photos taken. They had to take all the details of my car, photo of my licence, the lot. I had to wear a lanyard with my own photo on it, being like visitor of, and then it said the person's name. Went to the room. It was an absolute shit tip. It was horrible. Like, I don't know where these boys come from, but they need to get a fucking grip of themselves. Like, it was disgusting. I've never been in more mess in all my life. It got to the point where we were sitting in one of the rooms. There was about 20 of us watching a scary movie, and I just thought to myself, I was like, I can't fucking do this. Like, I need to leave. We went to the bathroom. It's like a communal, it's like a fucking school bathroom. It's horrible with these wee tiny windows. We were trying to get the leg up and out the window, like try and run away, because I was terrified. I was like, I don't want to sleep on a fucking army base and then have to tell my mum. Like, I still don't think my mum knows to this day. I'm sorry, Debbie, when you watch this, but we ended up having to run out. We ran to the car and tried to leave, and we got to the barrier, and the guy was like, no, the person that checks you in has to check you out. And I was like, fuck this. So we had to go all the way back, get the little man, get checked out. It was at about 3:15 in the morning. We were driving home and the car ran out of petrol, so we had to sleep in the hard shoulder for about 2 hours until the closest petrol station opened. We got home the next day at like 9 a.m. and both went to work. So that is probably the stupidest thing I've ever done. I could have been like car hijacked. We could have gone missing. It was horrendous, and I will never, ever, ever do that again. But I'm blaming my friend for that one. That's absolutely not my idea. Right, we'll give them a shuffle. Honestly, these will be more interesting the further we get into it, trust me. But I was like, we'll just keep it chill for the first episode. Like, let everyone get to know me a wee bit. What are your top 3 icks do you know what? I know my icks. Ick number 1, when you stink. Why do you stink? You've got a shower, you've got a bath, there's deodorant, everything accessible to you. Wash. Like, if you smell, I will tell you. I'm very brutally honest that way. Most people will just kind of let it slide, blah, blah. No, if you stink, I'm telling you, you stink. And like it or lump it, I don't care, but you're getting a wash. What's another ick of mine? What else am I? Yeah, chewing loudly, chewing with your mouth open. Not a fan of that. Slurping when you drink. I hate all that stuff, but I keep watching it on TikTok. I don't like ASMR chewing. I don't mind that, but like sitting across from someone, chewing, kind of gives me the fear a wee bit. But I feel like I don't have many icks. Yeah, do you know what? Do you know what's an ick actually? See when you see the boys and like kitted out in the full fucking cycling gear. But like, if it's people I don't know, I'm not bothered. But see if it's people I know and they've got like the knee pads or the shin pads. I don't know if you wear that when you go cycling. And the wee pointy hat and stuff like that. I don't like that. I find that quite icky. But like that, I feel like that's me just being judgmental at that point. I probably do icky things that people don't like, but in my mind, I'm a fucking angel. So, right. Biggest mistake to date. Moving out so young, moving in with friends. I literally lived with, this guy's sound creepy. I lived with my sister's boyfriend when she lived in Belgium. Hated it. Moved out. Moved home for like 2 months. Got my own flat. Moved back out. Kicked out 6 months later. Moved straight in with my other pal who lived in a 1 bedroom. We had to share a bed for months. And then went straight back home because I ended up like balls deep in an overdraft. And I was like, I'm not about to live this life. Still balls deep in my overdraft, but so do you know what? Take that as a lesson. If you want to be a skint bitch, you move in with your pals, right? Because that's where all my money problems came from. Do you have any regrets? Same as the one before. I'm not even going to answer it. I don't regret much. Like, I'm a very impulsive person. If I want to do something, I kind of just do it. If I want to say something, I'll say it. But like, I don't regret anything because that's kind of like shaped me as a person and it's kind of shaped my personality in a way. So I wouldn't say I regret much. I have done like a few stupid things that I do regret, like, but that's a story for another day. That's a story for when the grandparents aren't listening to the podcast. Anyway, biggest fear. Right. People are going to think this is a weird one. My biggest fear is it's not clowns. Like, clowns are doable. If a clown came near me, I'd be fine. No, the ones that like stab you and all that shit and come out the woods and blah blah blah. I know at the clown, I'm not about that. But like, if you go to a circus and stuff, the clowns are fine. See the ones that wear the stilts that make them fucking 20 foot tall? Not doing that. That happened to me in Blackpool once, and he was towering over me, and I ran away screaming. And I shit you not, I was about 16 at the time. That's terrifying to me. I don't know why you need to be that tall, but looking down on me like that, I'm not doing it. My other biggest fear is water. Don't like water, don't like swimming, scared of drowning, scared of sharks. But yeah, I don't have many big fears. I've got stupid fears, but nothing like major. What's one phobia you can't get over? That is the stilts and the clowns. I feel like that's something that you do. That's the kind of fear you have when you're young. And you're like, you can't sleep at night. You're like, Mum, I had a bad dream and I saw a clown. That's me. I'm 23 and I still have bad dreams like that. But do you know what? I'll own that. Everyone has at least one stupid fear. Like, I used to have the fear, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like the holes in your skin. I feel like everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about, but it's like holes very close together. But I don't mind that. It's just when you see it on like the skin, if you Google it, like, trigger warning, don't Google it if you're easily freaked the fuck out because it's disgusting. But I mean, have a wee swatch and see what you think. But everyone has stupid fears. I just own mine because I don't give a fuck. Right. This one says, tell them about your business plan. I'm going to fully expose myself here because, so my friend, I was talking to him the other day actually, and he was like that, oh, tell everyone your business plan. So when I was about 15, I decided I wanted to be a fucking inventor. I don't know why. I don't know where this came from. Like, I was so dumb. I did drama at school. Like, I'm not equipped for a fucking smart job, especially this. And I thought to myself one day, I was going to become an inventor. So I sat down, pen and paper, and started. I had my full family sit down and listen to my presentation. I thought this was a fucking $1 billion idea. I thought I was going to get whisked away to America or wherever all these big companies are. I was going to get paid a fucking bomb for my ideas. And now, like, growing up, I say growing up, I was like 16. I was like 16 when I came up with this. But I had the idea of having Braille subtitles. So, like, what this means is when Braille's for blind people, right? Is it? Yes. So when the blind people are watching, well, they can't watch the telly, but this was my thing. So I was like, what to do is we'll have Braille subtitles come out of the TV, and then they can like feel along the TV to know like what's kind of happening. But then my mum shut me down straight away, and she was like, that they can hear. So why would they need the Braille subtitles? And realistically, how the fuck would that work? So that invention went down the pan very, very quickly, followed by my pedals for wheelchairs, but I'm not even going to dig deeper into that. I thought I was doing everyone like a solid, being like, I'm going to help these guys out. Like, if their arms get tired or if there's no one there to help them, this is a good business idea, but it's not. I genuinely swear I'm not this dumb, right? But sometimes it just happens. Sometimes it just happens. I used to be blonde. I feel like that's maybe why. Right. I feel like that's a deep one. What's my worst quality? I don't know. Would you consider this a quality? So I always need to be right. I'm always right, hands down. I don't care what anyone says. I'm always right. And that's that. I'll argue until the death. I'll argue with anybody. I don't care if it's a 3-year-old trying to like put a point across to me. I'm always right. And I stick by that. Like, even if I know that I'm not right, it gets to the point where I was having an argument with my mum and that one day. And I ended up emailing Jamie Oliver because I thought he was going to help me with my question, because I thought, like, oh, me and him were buddies and all that, you know. And I argued with her about raspberry buns because I used a raspberry bun recipe but put lemon in it. So I was calling them raspberry buns with lemon curd, but she was like, no, that just makes it lemon buns. Not going to get into it. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'll get annoyed at myself if I do. And eventually I realised I was wrong. But I was so far into it that then at that point I was like, I've wasted everybody's time. I can't turn around and now say to people, by the way, I'm wrong. So I just fight. I just like defend myself, even if I know that I'm talking absolute shite, until they give up. And they're like, right, fine then, you're right, you're right. So even when I'm not right, I'm always right. So like, I feel like that's a terrible quality to have. But I don't care. Like, I'm always right, and that's just how it goes. Right. What's one thing I like about myself and one thing I would change? One thing I like about myself. Do you know what? One thing I like about myself is I try not to let things bother me. In a way, like if I'm very passionate about something and someone makes a comment or has like a different opinion or whatever, then yeah, fair enough. Like, I don't know. I don't know. One thing I like about myself, I just don't really give a fuck. Like, I'll do what I want to do. I'll say what I want to say. Sometimes that can, like, not be beneficial to me at all. But, like, I don't really care. Like, if someone doesn't like me, that's fine. That's on them. If someone doesn't know me and doesn't like me, then I've not done anything wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like a lot of people are too focused on what other people think and what other people have to say, rather than just like kind of being happy within themselves. Like, if you don't need anyone else's opinion, you don't need anyone else's validation. Like, if you're happy within yourself, then who cares? Like, I just that's when I just don't give a fuck. That's what I like. One thing I would change. What would I change? Probably nothing. I think I'm perfect. I'm absolutely not. There probably is stuff that I want to change, but I don't actually know at this point. Right. I think we'll do this one. So, most awkward encounter with a date or an embarrassing date story. I don't think I've got much, to be fair. Like, I don't really go on dates. Well, I never really used to go on dates. It was like, if I had a boyfriend, we would go on a date, but I never used to go on dates with just like random people. That's just not really my thing. I do remember I went on a date once and then invited all my friends, and the boy was very uncomfortable that I just started inviting all my friends, and then made it worse because I got us kicked out. That was probably, I don't think I seen much of him after that. I think it was one of those ones where he slowly like walked backwards until he was far enough away that he could run. But yeah, I don't think I'm that embarrassing. Even if I do have embarrassing stories, I don't think it's embarrassing. I just take it in the chin and move on. Like, most embarrassing memory, I think we're just going to skip that because I don't know. And one, do you know what? I think we'll end on this one. I like this one. If you could relive one memory what would it be if I could relive one memory? I feel like I've got a lot of things that I would relive. Like, I would love to redo I went on holiday with my friends to Finland. One of our best friends, Anna, lives over there. Bless her, I love her so much. And she invited us over to stay with her and her family. And I shit you not, if you get the chance to go to Finland, go. It's not somewhere that people go, but it is genuinely one of the most unreal places I've ever been in my life. We went to Estonia. We just made so many good memories and had so much fun. And yeah, see, to be fair, if I could relive like one memory, it would be the very first night we were in Finland, and everyone in Finland has a sauna and has a second home, and I don't understand, like, this is mental to me. Like, the 3 bathrooms and each one has a sauna. They've got a big Ferris wheel that has saunas as like little compartments. Imagine the London Eye having saunas. I'd never be off it. I'd move to London. Like, it was just unreal. It's so advanced. It's class. But she has her own house and then her own private pier. And we were down at the pier one night and we were all just drinking and having fun and dancing. And then, what's that song? It's called Everybody Wants to Rule the World. I don't know who it's by, but that song came on and we were all just dancing and laughing and having the best time. And I hold that memory in my heart forever. I think that is the happiest I have ever been in my whole entire life. Like, oh, it's unreal. Even just thinking about it, like, I feel like I'm a very sentimental person. Like, I hold these kind of memories, like, very dear and close to my heart. But yeah, definitely. Another moment I'd like to relive is our Leavers Day, our S6 Leavers Day, because we never got to do it. Everyone else got to have a pranks day. Every other year got to have a pranks day. And then we had this pure horrible, nasty, the most unfun, serious person ever as our new head teacher and wouldn't let us do anything. Literally nothing. We had to sneak back into the school and then he phoned the police on us. Like, why are you phoning the police on 60, 17-year-olds? Like, that's nuts. Genuinely nuts. But, yeah. Do you know what? I think I'm going to leave it there for today. It was quite short and sweet, but listen, I'm just excited to get a wee podcast out there. Ever since I got given this opportunity, I've been choking to come in here and film some episodes and get some guests on. I do have some guests in the works. So, if you're interested, come back. Follow me on Instagram. I've got this little wheel. We're going to have some games on it, say it or shot it. We've got a lie detector. Send me in some more questions. Just about anything that you want. Like, you won't know my guests until the episode's out. I'm not giving anyone a pre-warning. Everyone's just going to get the exact same. So next week when I've got my little wheel and I've got my little guest, hopefully it'll be a wee bit more fun. But thank you everyone for listening today. I hope this is something that goes well for me. It's something that I'm interested in, and I hope you guys are all interested too. Sorry if I bored the life out of you, but I'm a gabber and I love to talk shit, and it's in the title, so fucking deal with it. But anyway, yes, thank you very much, and I will see you next time.